Oh, and it actually just has like a hoop around that you'd hook around your neck, just so it stays up. A couple of press-on nails, a little bracelet, and there you go. You pretend it's someone else's hand.
If it catches on, it'll close down these clubs all around America.
Absolutely. Safe and effective. Wendy, I'm sorry.
No, baby, don't apologize. I'm just getting warmed up. I'll be in a minute.
They got some pretty good ideas tonight. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right. Where the hell else were we? Edward.
Hi, how you doing, Adam?
25. Good.
Good, yes. I currently also live. Hi, Jerry. How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Good. Been to your show on several occasions in Chicago.
Oh, great.
Great show. Met you a couple times.
Thank you.
Reason why I'm calling, and hello, Dr. Drew. The reason why I'm calling is I was married at an early age. I was married when I was 19 years old. I got divorced when I was 21. I currently have a child who I had with my ex-wife. And the problem that I'm having is I feel uncomfortable getting into another relationship. One of two reasons. A, I'm afraid to get hurt again because my ex, unfortunately, she cheated on me with another individual. My best friend's brother got pregnant while she was married to me.
Got pregnant with his child while she was married to you.
Yeah. And I'm kind of scared to first, get involved with somebody because I don't want to get hurt again. And you have a son or a daughter, which I currently have a son, and
Did she see this pregnancy through full term?
Oh yeah, she saw full term. Once I found out about it, which was actually 2 months after it occurred. Well, actually, what happened was she said that she claimed that she was attacked in our underground parking garage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and primarily what it turned out to be was a cover-up for her and this other guy.
So she's got a lot of chaos, right?
Oh yeah,
Drama.
Drama.
And she doesn't want to work on top of it. And
Let's stay focused on the question here. There's a lot of stuff going on here, but I think your fear of vulnerability at this point is probably an appropriate adaptation to your judgment.
Yes, that's good. It's God telling you not to have any more kids.
Yeah.
Or relationships right now, because you're going to choose the same kind of woman next time around.
Oh, Jerry, you know what you need? You need Norplant on the set. That's what I want. I want you to implant the Norplant on every one of those guests, even the males. I don't want to take any chances. Just to keep it fair. I don't know if it has any effect at all, but put it in them. That's what we need. Oh, that is what's going on with this country. Hey, go ahead, Jerry.
I think it's amazing that so many folks turn out to be relatively what we consider normal. I mean, that is because there's so many kids that are growing up in homes where you figure the kid doesn't have a shot.
See, Jerry sees the world the way we see it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's got the same.
Maybe worse. He has to look at them.
And the truth is, most folks manage to get along every day. I mean, they may have moments where they blow up, but the truth is, I mean, even the people on the show, by the way, they put in a little drama when they're on the show. They know they're getting an audience. Everyone's cheering them on.
Right.
But the truth is, when the show's over, most of them, not all, most of them, hey, can we have a picture? Can we stay for an autograph? Where's a good place to eat in Chicago? It's like all of a sudden you're talking to very apparently normal people. And that is God's truth. I'm not just telling you that. That is true. And so I'm figuring, that's all of us.
It is amazing that in the face of what looks like insurmountable odds, people somehow manage to at least create a life.
Stay out of the hospital.
And sort of stay out of the hospital and stay out of the prison, even though if a cop was there at the right time, they might be in prison. But, yeah, that is amazing.
It's amazing so many kids just haven't been run over because they're just running out on the street because no one's watching them at home. And, just simple things like that. Who's taking care of these kids?
Edward? Is he still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Listen, we got to take ourselves a break.
But Edward, you're 25. You've had a hellacious experience. You made a bad choice. Do a little growing up for a while. Just date. Experiment with relationships. Find out what it is you're looking for. And don't trust attraction. You clearly are the kind of guy that's going to be attracted to bad news.
Yeah, we've said that many times on this show. This world would be a better place if people could just pick who you're going to marry.
Have arranged marriages.
Yeah, like the Japanese.
Yeah, Koreans.
Right, you'd be better off. That's for damn sure. I'll tell you that right now. Oh man. Oh boy, would you be in better shape? All right, Wendy and Jerry are both here. Ringmaster's the name of the movie. Apologize to your wife, please. Will you?
You're going to apologize.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got news for you.
That's right. You think she's listening?
Never know.
All right, well, we'll know because the hotline will start ringing in a minute, and I'll have to tell her.
The door will start knocking.
It was all radio talk. All right, I love you, baby. Keep those tickets coming. She's a travel agent. I don't want to screw with her too much. We will be back with more Loveline after this.
Loveline. Be right back in a minute.
Hey, Wendy. Yes, it's Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That's Dr. Drew. Jerry Springer is here. Wendy Raquel Robinson is here, too. She's from the Steve Harvey Show, and also Ringmaster, which is Jerry's new movie, or the new movie that Jerry's in. Sort of involving Jerry in quite a big way. November 25th is when it's released. Is that the day before?
Day before
Day before
Thanksgiving.
Wednesday.
Same day as the Rugrats,
Oh,
And-
Drew.
right? The day before the Rugrats.
Well, maybe Rugrats will be sold out and you can go see Ringmaster, Drew.
Or vice versa.
Oh, Drew, aren't you going to go to some sort of...
My kids went.
They went.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to ruin those kids. You're going to ruin them, Drew. You're sparing the rod. What, did they go nuts for the Rugrats?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you got them in on that sneak preview premiere thing?
Yeah.
Drew's a big wheel in town here. The book is also called Ringmaster, and it makes it easy. Jerry's making the rounds, and wait a minute. Didn't you say you're... Oh, yeah, you're
Friday.
doing the show Friday. Oh, just
They
looking
didn't
at
give us the
lineup.
Friday people for some reason.
What? I got them right here.
That's just the Thursday ones.
All right. I swear I'm looking at them, Drew. Is that Bo? Is that how you...
Yeah, it's Bo.
Bo, you're 17.
Yeah, Jerry, you're awesome. Your show rocks. And
Thanks.
let's see, Drew and Adam, your show also rocks. I listen to you guys almost every night.
What
Thanks.
about Wendy on the Steve Harvey, baby?
What was that?
I said, what about Wendy on the Steve Harvey show?
You know, I don't.
She rocks.
think I-
She
I rock,
rocks.
baby.
She rocks, you idiot. Please.
Yeah.
Thank
if you're on
you.
Loveline, you rock.
World's dumbest callers on this show. I really do.
Okay, I had a comment about what Catherine called in earlier. I just thought she basically sucks because she would know that if she watches Jerry's show, that they have to call in to be on the show. So obviously she doesn't watch it enough. And I had a question for Jerry. What brought on that lady from NBC with all those interviews and things on her? You know how she was sort of criticizing the show and bringing those people up, saying that you guys were actually telling them to fight.
Oh, yeah, there was. I don't know if it was NBC. There was a report, as it turned out, an accurate report, that some of the guests, they had found some guests on our show that were in fact fake, that had made up their stories, and that was true. My answer is that 95% of the people that are on our show are telling the truth. Are there some that come on and make it up and get by us? Absolutely. Have we had producers in the past that under the pressure of having to have a show by, let's say, the Friday deadline, start to put together a story? That has happened and they get fired. We have no requirement to make our show truthful because we're entertainment. We could script the entire show. I choose not to do that because I think it's a better show when we have legitimate people on telling their stories. I just think it's better when it's
Stranger.
fake. Yeah, that's exactly right. When it's fake, it isn't as funny and it looks fake.
We get the same question or critique about our show on occasion, and I always answer, which is, as far as we know, everyone who's calling in has a real problem. And people go, yeah, but what if someone's calling in? And it's like, well, we don't know it if they are. It's not what we intend to do. We can't stop them, and if they're shrewd, they're going to fool us. But I always say this. Let's just say some guy calls in. He says he's 17. He got his girlfriend knocked up. Now he doesn't know what to do. She doesn't want to get an abortion. And he's totally full of crap. He's a virgin, and he's got his pants around his ankles, and he's laughing like a hyena while he's calling us, and somehow we don't catch on to it. I always say somewhere out there, there's somebody who's
17,
going through that.
Exactly.
And we'll address it.
Sure. So, I mean, it just doesn't matter. But I do want you to know that we work very hard, and I think successfully, because we get to do what you can't do on radio. There's no way you can check out a caller. We have the time to check out our guests, and we do a good job.
Do you fly? Would you provide airfare for your guests, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, we could go on Jerry Springer at him.
Swear to God.
Oh, we'd fly you in.
We're trying to get those cheap bastards Conan, who want us to be on the show next week, to cough up some airfare, and they say they don't do it.
You're kidding.
I think if one of the Baldwins was going to swing by, they may cough it up. Yeah, Jerry's flying people out. Remind me to yell that at somebody tomorrow.
I'll fly you to Conan. You want to be on Conan? I'll buy you tickets. You guys can go.
Jerry is large.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
Ringmaster's the name of the movie, everybody. It's also the name of the book. Out November 25th. Saw you on BET tonight, by the way, the Black Entertainment Television. Did you do that tonight?
Yes.
It was so funny because I just turned it on and there was Jerry. And I thought...
he's all over the place.
That was live?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Of course it was live. We were taking phone calls.
I was watching that, and I said, okay, well, I better watch this because he's coming in here tonight. Maybe I can learn something. And the second I tuned in, OJ called in.
Yeah.
He interrupted.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
he was on the phone.
At the end of the show, we were on for an hour. We were on for 50 minutes. And at the very end of the show, OJ calls in because of the court decision, which now says there's a question as to whether or not he can keep the kids. And so, and I was thinking, what if Tavis comes to me and says, Jerry, do you want to ask OJ a question? And I was thinking to myself, this is my shot. I mean, put yourself in that position. For the last 4 years, you're thinking, God, if I ever had a chance to ask OJ, and now I'm sitting there having no idea that OJ was going to be on this show. This was about our movie, and I'm thinking, oh God, what is that one question? I can't blow it. And oh God.
Did you talk to him?
No. I mean, it wasn't appropriate, and he just called in. And
Jerry would have got his ass kicked anyway.
Basically,
because it's like, hey, Juice, what's happening, my man?
Yeah. I know. It was so.
He would have got a chair thrown at him.
Yeah.
No. I'm teasing.
I would have.
Yeah, Jerry was very, very smart. He just bit his lip, sat there.
Oh, but it was so tempting. I mean, imagine, wouldn't you have? Well, you would have jumped in.
Oh, well, I don't know what I would have done.
You have Tourette's. You would have said something.
I probably would have had to yell something weird out at some point. But the thing is I would have been so caught off guard that you go on a show, you're promoting a movie, you're promoting a book. Next thing you know, hey, it's OJ.
And I'm not even thinking it's real, but it was OJ.
It was.
Yeah, and then I'm going, oh, this is it. Don't blow it. What's the question? And I wasn't going to yell anything out. I was afraid he was going to come to me and say, Jerry, anything you want to ask OJ?
Oh,
and I was going to say, remember that third game of the season at Buffalo?
Oh, right.
Wouldn't that have been great? Why did you, why didn't you go straight in the line? Why did you go around the end? And people would have said, that's great.
Isn't it really offensive line that was responsible for your 2,000-yard season?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It wasn't really your accomplishment.
How surreal. Well, I know everybody has, and here's the problem you get into in this business is a lot of people have a lot of opinions, and they don't mind sharing them when they're with their buddies over a few beers. But once in a while in this business, you get confronted with the person you have the opinion about. Oh. And there's a bunch of people who know what you've been talking about that are waiting for you to capitalize on your golden opportunity.
I know, and here it is. And I was thinking, oh, God.
But they kept the camera on Tavis.
Oh, yeah.
So
I think they were nervous.
It didn't seem like... Yeah. I actually heard one of the producers say, keep Cracker out of this. It came right through the headset. It spilled on, it bled into the mic.
It passes the sensors.
That's right.
Max, what's going on there?
Hey, man. Hey, Adam. How's it going?
Good.
Jerry, I think you're the first horseman of the apocalypse, and Adam, I think you're like horseman number 1/2.
Thank you.
What's up, Max?
That thing started off strong, but it kind of faded.
Yeah.
You never bring fractions into an example. You go 100%,
Especially biblical references. Yeah. What's going on there?
The problem is technical problems. That's what I think the problem is. You're always complaining about your callers. I don't think it's the callers.
Max, do you have something for us? Max, you have something for us? Question?
Yes. I'm 26. I haven't gotten laid in like 9 years.
I am dumbfounded.
You're dumb.
I can't believe someone with that velvety tongue has not been laid in 9 years.
9 years.
All right. Well, we're going to excuse you for being rude because you're under mental duress.
We could fix you up with someone on our show.
No, thank you.
What's going on there, Max?
What's holding your bag?
What are you chalking it up to?
I actually liked people.
That came through.
Hold on, let me scrape Drew up off the carpet. Drew, he's floored. Yeah, why don't you like people?
They suck.
Yeah, but not all of us do, you know. I mean, the reality is there's some really good people. People are like cars or dogs, you know.
Yeah,
there's some really good ones and there's some really bad
When
ones.
your dad or mom beats the crap out of you and abandons
That's
you,
not true.
or abandons you.
Well, where's your mom and your dad?
Well, they're at home.
Yeah, and did they do anything to you growing up?
They kind of ignored me.
Right. And anything else, or they just sort of were absent?
Well, they fought a lot. And
Did somebody else victimize you while they were busy
Ignoring
with their
you?
own stuff?
No.
No?
Any
Nobody
brothers or
else victimized
sisters?
me.
That's a good question.
What do you say?
Any brothers or sisters?
No.
What do you
The
do
only
for a
child.
living?
I'm a customer sales representative.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I was going to guess for a major airline, but
No.
that's great. So you basically
Post office?
you basically put it out to the people.
Customer
Yeah,
service.
people call me up and I tell them that they're stupid.
What kind of place do you work for?
I work for a computer company. They call
Uh-huh.
me up and they say, my computer doesn't work. And I say, well, that's your problem.
This guy is an asshole.
That's
Screw
perfect.
you, Drew.
Hey,
Yeah,
Max.
rhymes.
Max,
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
Other than just venting, did you
Yeah.
have a question?
Why haven't I gotten laid in 9 years?
Well, it's the
Well,
way
if you don't
treat
like people,
people,
where are you
yeah.
going to get, laid?
people reciprocate what you put out. They do. And if you always, it may not be just that people are a-holes. It's that you're sort of crafting them into that, coaxing them into that by making them defensive and attacking. And
Hey, Max.
Yeah.
I rarely make this recommendation, but you need to start smoking pot. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I stopped like 6 years ago.
That's the
Yeah.
problem.
There you go.
There
Yeah,
we go.
getting bitter. You need to smoke some pot. You need to put on a little Bob Marley. You need to unbutton your shirt a little bit. You need
I'm
to
wearing
just
a T-shirt.
you just need to relax a
I don't
little.
have any
Yeah.
buttons
and then
on my
you're
shirt
going to have an
Yeah.
irritable, hostile
Okay,
guy.
start saving for a hooker, Max. Listen, you're not going to get laid with that attitude. I know you're miserable, and here's the problem, quite frankly, with people like Max. All you want to do is either punch Max or yell at Max, depending on how far away you are from him. Unfortunately, Max is but let's look at Max as a kid. Parents fighting, ignoring him. You got a
Lonely
hurt,
child.
you got a hurt little lonely child, and underneath whatever that veneer he puts on is
Pain,
just a hurt,
pain,
painful,
pain.
lonely
Yeah.
guy. And the problem is he doesn't know how to extend himself to anybody.
Can't,
All he
too
can
frightened.
do is put that attitude out there, and all he gets back is more crap. And then all that does
Support
is
his notion of
support his
people.
notion that everyone's an a-hole. So Max, even though it's painful and you may be vulnerable, your only hope is to drop the attitude a little bit and just relax and go out there and take your blows like everybody else. You're going to meet people that are going to disappoint you. You're going to meet women that are going to break your heart, but you're going to meet people you're going to fall in love with too. But you'll never have the opportunity for any of it if you have the attitude that you have. That's my final comment.
All right.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
love yourself, honey.
Max,
Yeah.
just relax, would you? Get a little therapy, work out a few issues. Just get out there and meet a woman. There's no magic to it. All right?
All right.
All right. And stop abusing those poor people that call in. You know, it's great. They always, whenever you call in one of those troubleshooting hotlines, they always start with the most basic and then work their way down to whatever could be something technically wrong with the product. So they always give you this one. Did you take it out of the box? Yeah, I took it out. That's why that's how I know it's not working. Okay, there's like a tail on it with two prongs.
Did you plug
It's
it in?
important that that's stuck into the wall. Did you do? Yes, it's plugged in. All right. Does it make a noise when the toast goes down into it? You're not using pumpernickel, are you? Okay. But it always starts with the most basic, and you always want to yell, like, there's a party that wants to go, what do you think, I am an asshole? But then there's another party that wants to just get through it. Yes, I took it out of the box.
Yes, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yes, it's plugged in. No, it's not immersed in water.
And then when you get to the question what it really is, then, of course, they can't answer that, and they have to bring on a supervisor or say, well, if you call this number,
right,
they can, you have that problem, then you need to...
What is it that all the Maxes of the world end up in customer service?
Yeah, I don't know.
What is that?
I don't know.
Hotels, restaurants, airlines.
I don't know. The other thing I love is when you call up and somebody answers the phone, is obviously like a secretary, and probably a temp or something, and you go, yeah, I need to speak to a service technician. They go, what's the problem? And you go, well, it's kind of involved, and I think I need to talk to a service guy. Well, I think I can help you. Well, should I explain it to you? Go ahead. And then you go out and explain it, and then there's a long pause, and they go, let me get a service technician.
They're the buffer.
I knew that, honey. We could have saved ourselves some time. All right. Jerry Springer's here. Wendy Raquel Robinson are both here. Ringmaster's the name of the movie, and we'll be back with more Loveline after this.
Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. The phone number's 1-800-LOVE-191.
We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Tony Bennett, and you're listening to Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Yes, you are. That was weird sitting here talking about this crap with Tony Bennett. Hey, Tony, when you're in the military, did you masturbate much? They put saltpeter in our food. All right. Ringmaster's the name of the movie. Jerry Springer's here. Wendy Raquel Robinson is here as well. She stars in the movie. Jerry's also in the movie. It's out November 25th. Jerry has a book out right now called Ringmaster. And it's not the book. I mean, the movie is not the book. The book is more Jerry's life and his regression, really. He started out okay. Now,
Mayor Springer.
Slow descent into hell. But, yeah, he was at 33, mayor of Cincinnati.
Wow.
Got to be one of the younger mayors in history.
Yeah, I was the youngest mayor in Cincinnati's history. There was a fellow who was elected that year who was the nation's youngest. He was 3 months younger than me in Cleveland, Dennis Kucinich. So he was elected, and I was in Cincinnati, and then Ohio had a third city with a young mayor in his 30s, Doug DeGood in Toledo. So they referred to the three of us as DeGood, DeBad, and DeUgly because Kucinich was recalled. And so the three of us, I mean, here you had these three boy mayors. They used to run a crawl at the bottom of the screen every night. It's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your mayor is?
Oh.
Wow.
I was referred to as the boy mayor.
And is that just a wild coincidence that there were three guys in their early 30s that were all mayors?
It must be. I mean, we didn't know each other, and, Cincinnati is, even though in the same state as Ohio, it's light years away in terms of the kind of city it is. Cleveland is an urban, industrial, northern steel belt city. Cincinnati is right on the Ohio River on the border of Kentucky, so it's more of a Midwestern, southern, conservative city. Even though I'm a very liberal, I was a aberration to the normal politics of the city.
And are you completely done with politics?
Not in my passion, certainly in terms of, being in office. I mean, 10 years was enough. But that's the thing I care about most is politics. I mean, that's my interest.
Drew, stop. I swear to God with that chair.
It sounds like I can prevent it every single time I sit forward.
We got to do something. It drives me insane with that thing.
How long have you known each other?
Too
Way
long.
too long.
Okay, let's bring out the person.
You guys are like brothers.
Give me a chair. I swear to God.
Maybe he goes to the therapist afterwards. Do you see what you're doing now as having a political impact? In a kind of abstract way?
Not an impact, but it's a reflection of part of our culture. In other words, I do believe that the same people that were voting for me are the people who watch the show. In other words, my constituency hasn't changed. In politics, my constituency was the young, minorities, liberal, blue collar, college educated. In other words, the left side of the political
show,
spectrum.
though, your show is more
Oh, it's young.
further afield, isn't it?
Not the people who watch it. I'm not talking about the people on it. If you look at our studio audience, it is young, it is liberal, it is blue collar, it is college kids, minorities. No, I think that's, if you look at the demographics when we get, ratings all the time, and I realized, and I didn't always know this, but recently we looked at it, and I remember having this discussion. Gosh, if I were running for office, this is the constituency that was putting me in office that I was
What was your
going
appeal
to?
How did you appeal to them when you were in politics?
Well, at the time, I grew up in the civil rights movement. That was my first politics. And I went through that and the freedom rides, and then I was active in the anti-war movement. So it was that association. Plus, I was one of them.
Drew was active in that, too, but it was World War II, so it didn't get as much press.
Well, you look good, Drew.
He's holding up, isn't he?
I told you, Adam.
Yeah, you got rid of the crew cut, thanks. So, but it was generally, so I was part of that. Back then, it wasn't. Now I think it's more amazing that that there's this relationship going on with younger people. Back then, I was part of the young, good generation, so it wasn't much of a stretch. They were just voting for one.
Well, I think the young people like Jerry because they look at him as a drunken uncle who's watching them for the weekend who really doesn't care what they do.
I think that's probably right.
It's like, just going to watch some TV. Don't light the house on fire. And other than that, be in by, let's say, 4 a.m.
That's exactly
He doesn't make a judgment.
And listen,
That's what
if you're going to do something,
go Wendy.
if you're going to do something weird, put some plastic down.
Yeah.
Because I can't get the stink out of the carpet before your folks get home. Maximilian.
Yes.
You're 37.
Yes, I am. Good evening.
Good evening.
Dr. Drew and Adam, Wendy, and Jerry. I think I covered all the bases.
Yes.
You did.
Thank you.
Do I go straight to the question, or
Yes,
Sure.
yes.
I covered the topic real quick. This is about childhood sexual abuse trauma
Yeah.
and its extensive status in adult life if not treated. And the question, Dr. Drew, is in a clinical situation yourself, as being the clinician, a couple is before you. One brings to mention that one of them did suffer childhood sexual abuse and has not been treated.
This is a partner in a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Well, it's actually past tense.
All right. Get to the question.
The question, under those circumstances, what issue would you look at first, and how well would you deal with the sexual molestation issue?
In determining what?
Just how it's going to affect finding level ground.
It's no matter what, it's going to be intense and chaotic and difficult.
You would most definitely address it then.
Oh yeah. The only question is the person willing to get treatment or not? I mean, to me, it's about all.
Of course, you'd address it. I mean, if you're a therapist and that came up in couples therapy.
No, I think he was saying just in a relationship, how much do you get into all that?
Dr. Drew.
If you find out your partner's into this, has been through this.
Oh, I see. You're saying, should you bring it up, especially if your partner's not in treatment?
No, I just wanted to know basically what Dr. Drew would do, because it was brought up in treatment, and the doctor did not address it to its severity, even though I asked him specifically.
Do you see, I'm right here, Drew, you idiot. Oh, man, the guy's a doctor, but doesn't know anything.
You'd have to, Maxime reminded me of that Damon Wayne's guy, prison, reference won't take.
Let's just edit this.
Yes.
Got them all confused. Yeah.
I knew what he was talking about. All right, listen, Maximilian, anybody, I'm going to start calling you Max, by the way, because it's only a 2-hour show.
You asked me an assessment about a clinical circumstance that I'm not involved with. He may have had a very good reason not to get into the specifics of the sexual abuse, because sometimes the consequences of that are so profound that the issues at hand are more about containing behavior and containing affect and not stirring old S up, because it'll make the symptoms in the present worse sometimes for people that can't manage it.
If she was ritualistically abused by her stepdad repeatedly, for instance, and he didn't want to sort of shake the snow globe, and it had just settled, you may just work on skimming the top instead of getting in and really stirring things up, because
reinforcing the glass and making sure everything's ready when you do finally shake it.
It could knock her off her access for 5 years or something.
Or kill her. I mean, people act out, they get suicidal, you're done.
But in general, it wouldn't be a topic that you'd skirt about just because you didn't deem it
important. But it might take a long time before somebody be able or prepared to talk about it in a real way in a process.
I think I asked Jerry this last time he was here, but I can't remember what the answer was. We only got about 45 seconds here. But every time I watch your show, it strikes me that those chairs should be bolted down.
Right.
And that one day, someone's going to get hit like Geraldo with one of those things. Someone's going to throw a chair and get conked like in the audience, and there's going to be a lawsuit. And I always think to myself, well, why not bolt them down? Because you don't really need them to move around. As a matter of fact, you'd like them just to sort of stay where they are, 'cause people start inching closer to each other and walking them around and stuff. And I can't remember what your answer was, but I swore I brought it up. But we got to take a break. But when we come back, Jerry will explain to us, and this time we'll be satisfied with his answer, as to why those chairs aren't bolted down to his stage. After this.
I feel so liquidy.
Really? Why? You're listening to Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. Loveline will be right back.
It is Loveline. We are going to take our traditional 10-second top of the hour station identification. We'll do that right now, and we'll be right back in 10 seconds.
This is Loveline on radio station.
Illegal broadcasters.
92.1 KFMA, Green Valley, Tucson.
Adam, last night we took the break at 11 o'clock on the dot.
Yes.
We did all the breaks when they're supposed to happen.
Dotted the I's, crossed the T's.
It was beautiful.
And it was the
Mike
worst,
couldn't believe it.
most boring show ever. I know, it was horrible. I wasn't here last night. Drew had to waller in his own stink. Yeah, that's right.
It was liberating. And
Yes.
Wonderful.
Well, that's
Interesting.
right. Watching a bear hibernate would be more exciting than listening to Drew host his own show. Ringmaster is the name of the movie, out November 25th. The book is also called Ringmaster. Jerry Springer's here. Wendy Raquel Robinson are also here. She is one of the stars of the movie. And we have to get to the bolting the chair down question. I look at that show and I go, one of those chairs is going to get tossed. It's going to hit some 95-pound girl in the audience. It's going to snap her neck, and she's going to own Chicago.
Okay, well, we don't nail the chairs down because then they'd have to throw the whole stage, and that'd be more difficult to do. We have the security people all around, of course. They're Chicago cops, and so they make sure that the chairs don't go anyplace.
And when people come in and agree to be in the audience, is there some sort of waiver that they have to sign?
Yeah, first there's a ceremony outside where they say goodbye to their families, and then they sign the will and everything, and then they come in. I don't know. I think they probably sign something. I think they sign a release which says, I agree to be viewed on television. I
would assume that, though, there would have to be something, because with that kind of action on occasion, breaking out on stage.
Yeah, it could be. That's a good question. Honestly, I don't know.
Have you ever had an audience member was sitting in the front row who had a large person land on them or something?
It could be, but no one's ever been hurt. If they've been, they usually get hit with flowers or they get petals all over them, because right now everyone seems to be throwing the flowers.
Well, don't get me wrong, but what time do you tape that show?
We tape at...
You and I sat in the green room right next to that while he was taping.
It was like 2 in the afternoon?
Yeah, we do 2 shows a day, 3 days a week. So Mondays and Wednesdays, normally we tape at 11 and at 2.
Right.
And then on Tuesdays, we tape at night at 6 and 8.
That audience is made up of the unemployable, basically. I mean, let's be honest here.
Actually, it's mostly made up of students. I mean, the truth is they're college
students who won't get jobs out of college. The point is you'd think that some of those people would be opportunists, for lack of a better term, and that out of all the hundreds of shows you've taped, that one of them sitting in that front row who was not working on a Tuesday at 2 in the afternoon would claim that one of those chairs hit me in the ankle and I can't have kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think it would have happened by now.
Yeah, my guess is the answer may be maybe they do sign that. That's an interesting question.
Must
I don't
be
know.
something.
They probably
what's
do sign
funny,
something.
in the movie, there is an orientation scene where they talk about people. If it's happening on television, it means that it's happening in real life,
Yeah.
and they go through all the things
Well,
that you
it could
can't
be
do.
like going to a baseball game. There's an assumption of risk.
Right.
It's possible you're going to get hit with a ball going into the stands or even a flying bat. And when you buy your ticket, you assume the risk of attendant with that activity. Well, with our show, it's probably arguable that you would know what the show is like. You're not going to the opera.
That's true.
But my guess is that it's a great question, and I confess I don't know the answer.
I'm looking out for you, Jer.
I appreciate it.
I hope you don't mind me calling you Jer.
And that's why we have this bonding that's been going on for years.
That's right. Ringmaster, November 25th. See, every time you're nice to me, I toss out a plug.
Yeah.
Megan.
You look good in that hat, by the way. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Ringmaster, November 25th.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
You're all really great, and I've been listening to you since Poor Man, and Adam, you're way better than any of the guys. Ricky, everybody's been on there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My question is that I've been having these weird kind of sexual dreams about, like, me, and it seems like I'm married. The guy's supposed to be my husband, but I don't really know him. And we're just, like, taking advantage of, like, women. Like, it's in a room, and we're just doing everything to her, and she doesn't want to be there, but we're doing it anyways.
How long you been having this for?
For probably about 2 months, and I think a lot of it's because, like, I'm going out of state to college in a month for spring, and I just feel kind of out of control, so I got rid of my boyfriend and, kind of been cleaning up my stuff to go, and I just feel like maybe that's a product of that.
How do you treat people when you get really angry with them?
Throws a chair.
I get really angry back. My dad's an alkie, so is my brother.
What are you getting on to here, Drew?
Let me just try again more time. When you get angry at someone, how do you behave? What do you do?
I think of anything I possibly can to hurt their feelings.
Why do you want to hurt their feelings when you're angry?
Because I feel like they're attacking me.
And so what do you do? Just if they're making you angry, you feel it.
Drew, would you please tell her what she's doing?
I'm just exploring whether or not...
Drew does this every time.
Look, there's something called projective identification, where people externalize their feelings by putting their feelings onto somebody else so they can contain them outside of themselves. Mm-hmm. And this dream is sort of like having that. Her feelings are in the body of this other person. Now they're outside of her, and so she becomes the one that's perpetrating the powerlessness, and it makes her feel empowered.
Interesting.
And people do this. It's a very primitive thing, and her dad being an alcoholic and all would be a good reason to have developed those sorts of primitive coping strategies.
All right, so what should she do?
Go off to college. It's pretty involved. Did you go to Al-Anon or ACA or anything like that?
My mom made me go to Alateen for like 6 years until I was like 15, and then I felt like I got a little old, and they're always, you better go to Al-Anon or you can't, because my dad's been in recovery for 10 years, and he's like the
That'll be a good idea.
You got to get in there. You get a sponsor now, work a program. It'll be a different process as an adult. It'll help you in your relationship.
I got a brilliant idea to clean up this country. One of my many. Like the masturbatory bucket on the nightstand, like the geisha sleeve with the press-on nails. I should run for something. I really should. Mayor of Cincinnati.
Cute.
Here's what we need to have. You know, when you drive past the McDonald's, you see the, they got that romper room set up out front for the kids. They jump in a big pile of disease-riddled balls and slide down the slide and that kind of stuff. They should really just close that place up and put an Alateen in every McDonald's, all the places where they used to have places to occupy the kids. You got a bunch of 9 and 10-year-olds. You keep them busy while mommy and daddy sit down and order or whatever. Yeah. Just put the Alateen in there. It would really clean up this country in a hurry. And so even if your parents weren't alkies, you can get them,
enjoy it.
You can enjoy it. Yeah, this dream call reminds me of, I had the world's most bizarre dream last night.
Oh, yes. Let's go. Here we go. Adam always inadvertently reveals something just astonishing about himself.
All right, this one has so weird. I'm driving home from Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place last night at 2 a.m. Through the streets of the city, and it's pretty quiet. And I'm passing one of these psycho billboards every other block. They've remade the movie Psycho. Anne Heche is in it. She's the woman in the shower and all that. And And they have them up on every park, every bench, every bus stop bench, and all the things. And, it's weird. You're driving thinking you're listening to the stereo and staring at the road, but I must have passed 10 of these billboards. And even though I didn't really take direct notice of it, it must have crept in. So, I went to bed about 3:30 last night with a couple of glasses of red wine in me because I have to cope. And I was going to get up at 6:45, so I was automatically miserable knowing I was only going to get about 3.5 hours sleep. And all night, all I dreamt about was Anne Heche, who I knew is Anne Heche, attacking me with that knife and sort of falling out from the ceiling and attacking. Although I did get to have sex with her on a couple of occasions. Well, listen, if some chick's going to try to knife you, at least you should do
You got to get something out of it.
Get a little something out of it. I figure, listen, all bets are loose. You're not going to the police, honey. Who's the one that's holding the butcher knife? So I'll see what I can get. But I knew she was into women, and I just figured, what the hell, I'll try anyway. But all night, I was dreaming that she was trying to stab me. And I was like waiting for a car to valet, and she fell down on me and tried to stab me again. And it was really the most disturbing night's sleep I've had in many a year. Drew?
Yeah.
Hey, can you read anything into that?
No.
That's just billboards.
That's just you.
It's not the same as the two haunchy women that tried to drown me with my own scrotum in the deep end of the pool.
That was much more revealing. That was a wonderful dream.
Drew figured out it was my mother and grandmother.
We will pay the plane tickets if you would come on our show.
What would we do on your show?
I'd just tell your life story. You wouldn't have to make anything
Just tell
up.
your dream sequences.
Just tell your dreams, and by gosh, we'll then bring them out. Here she is, Anne Heche. Come on out, Anne.
Oh, my God, she's got a knife.
Quick, throw me down, take off my clothes.
Oh. Yeah, well, we were right next door. We're right next door to the studio doing Jenny Jones?
Yeah.
We should have stumbled out there. Justin, we'll take one more call, and then we'll let our very tired guests go.
Yes.
Justin?
Yeah?
You're 16?
Yeah. I'm wondering how to tell my mom and my friends that I'm bi.
You're 16?
Yeah.
Why do you want to do that?
Because it's like kind of hard to keep it a secret.
Do you want to? If you were heterosexual, would you want to announce that you were heterosexual?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to announce that.
But the point is,
if you were heterosexual and you're having a lot of sex, would you want to announce
exactly?
That?
No.
All right. So what happened to you, Justin?
What do you mean?
Little sexual abuse somewhere?
No.
It
kind of happened.
What happened?
Friends.
How old were you?
I think around like 7.
Okay, that's sexual abuse. Sexual abuse.
Wait, you're not a mature adult. So.
Sexual abuse of children on children is one of the more rapidly growing populations of sexual abuse right now, and it very often results in a lot of confusion about one's sexual orientation. So there you go. So maybe you ought to talk to them about what happened to you and see if they want.
Well, how many times did this happen?
Quite a bit.
Same person?
Yeah.
Was it
still ongoing?
Kind of, yeah.
You're still screwing around with the same kid you were soiling your Pampers with?
No, not since a couple of years ago.
Was this a cousin or a family friend?
No, it was a real close friend.
And it was a guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a girlfriend?
Right now, yeah.
You do?
And a boyfriend?
No. He and I kind of got into an argument.
So you had a boyfriend and a girlfriend?
Yeah.
We're always, would your dad freak out? Or where is your dad?
He's in California.
Oh, okay.
I can care less about him.
Right.
There you go.
He'd be pissed if he found out, though, right?
Yeah, but I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, no, you do care. That's why you're going to tell him.
Announce it to everybody.
Well, with him, I don't care, though.
Well, you want to piss your mom off, too, so you'll get her in the crossfire.
Right.
Yeah, she told me that she doesn't care, but kind of...
Well, Justin, understand this is still a lot of confusion and a lot of the consequences of what was perpetrated against you and having a broken family.
Let me explain to the guests. We don't trust anybody that wants to tell anybody anything.
At that age.
At almost any age. I got to be honest with you. You know, people really put a lot of stock in honesty, and they think it's very noble. And it is noble if you're a politician or a doctor, an attorney, or something like that. But in relationships, when we talk to people, let's say, a woman goes out, has an affair, and her husband comes back and says, it's really bothering me. I want to tell my husband. Really? Why do you want to tell him?
You don't encourage that?
No. You know why?
Why?
Because once you distill it down, you realize she's pissed off at him, and she only went and did it to F with him so she could tell him. The reason she did it was the reason to come clean, to be truthful. And when we talk to 15 and 16-year-olds who want to announce it to their parents that they're gay.
At the Thanksgiving table, usually?
Yes. I always say to them, well, how do you think your dad's going to react? Oh, he's going to hate that. Well, why are you going to tell him? He deserves it, son of a bitch. So it's like, are you being honest, or are you just trying to put a knife in somebody? Think about what the motivation is behind your honesty. Everyone hides behind honesty and says the truth is for all. I'm just being honest, and no one ever questions it. But think about who you're being honest with and why you're being honest. And think about all the other aspects of your life where you lie your ass off. Why don't you go ahead and straighten out those and put this at the bottom of the honesty list and see if you ever get to it. All right, that was my final thought. Ringmaster is the name of the movie, November 25th. Jerry, Wendy, thank you very much for coming in.
It was great. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
We'll see you at the TV show Friday.
I'll see you Friday.
That is right. All right, we're going to take a little break. We'll let our guests go. I'm going to take a leak, and we'll be back.
This is Loveline.
Loveline will be right back.
Loveline on 92.1 KFMA.
Hello, I'm Damon.
I'm Dave. I'm Graham.
And we are collectively Blur, and you're listening to Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
That was on a pot of coffee. Blah. I've said this before, but I swear that band named themselves Blur because it was the easiest word for them to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's blah.
If it was the Ozark Mountain Daredevils,
Smash Mouth,
would have come out like this. I'm Damon, and I'm from the Ozark Mountain So instead, it's easy. I mean, you could wake the guy up out of a drunken stupor. Let's name your band. Blah. Anyone can say that. Remind me when I name a band, because I figure when I hit the road, there's gonna be a lot of drinking, a lot of drug using, a lot of late nights.
When you hit the road, with your band?
With my band.
I see.
And I don't want to make that mistake that Dexy's Midnight Runners made, which is something you can't say when you're drunk. Blah.
Blah. Blah. Blah.
See? He can pronounce that a week after he's dead. Someone knock on the casket. Hello? What's the name of the band?
Red is 18. Right. Red, what's going on? Red's been on hold for 98 minutes.
Yo.
Yeah.
What's up?
Hey.
Hey. I've been on...
Oh, Red. Hold on a second, Red. Red was the... listen. Be nice on this show, everybody. Red was our first call of the night. I forgot all... And we weren't intentionally punishing Red, but Red was the first call of the night. About 10:04 and a half, we punched up Red.
You think it was this guy, or was it another one who hung up?
Oh.
I don't think this was him.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay. They say it's him. All right.
Red, we talked to you an hour and a half ago?
Yes.
Hold on. And Red shot us just a little bit of tood. Just a little. He started off with a little tood, and I gave him a chance to say hi or something, and he kind of went, bleh. He went, blah. And we went, you know what, Red? I don't like your attitude. We're going to put you on hold. And we were planning on putting him on hold for another 10 or 15 minutes and then getting back to him, but we sort of forgot about him. And he's been on hold for an hour and a half. All right, so I think everyone, let's see if Red has learned his lesson. Red?
Yes.
What's going on?
I had a question an hour and a half ago about...
Oh.
He can't resist.
He can't resist. He has some sort of emotional Tourette's thing going. Well, we'll give him one more try. Red?
Yes.
Okay. What's the question?
Oh, see, I'm seeing these two girls right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're married.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them. And I'm just freaking out over it because they got husbands and they already got kids and all.
Right.
And I'm only 18.
How old are they?
One's 21 and one's 19.
Mm-hmm.
And the husbands are cool with me and all, and it's just like...
What do you mean they're cool with you?
Yeah, see, we talk and all that, smoke some and all that, but...
Well, do they know you're banging their wife?
One of them does.
No way.
He's all right with that?
I guess he never says anything to me.
How do you know he knows?
Because I was in the store with her one time kissing on her and all that, and he walks up to me while I was doing it. He said, hey, you got any more songs? I was like, nah, I'm not jetting.
All right.
People are real prizes.
All right. Thank God they have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the one that her husband caught me with, she wants to move into my place and all.
No, Red, get out of all this. Come on.
It's weird, though.
It's more than weird. It's dangerous. It's a mess. It's nothing you should be involved with.
Red, I'll give you 3 scenarios.
Yo.
One,
you're killed.
Is one of these guys just gets drunk and shoots you. That's one. 2 is, which is actually worst scenario, you don't get killed by one of these guys, and you end up having a kid or two with one of these girls, and you're locked in with them for the rest of your life.
Except he'll manage to have a few other kids with other women.
Right. And 3 is one of them moves in with you, the other one freaks out, you have a kid from another guy who's living with you part-time too. You never make any money, and life just sucks.
Yeah, but that's the cool part. Both of the girls know each other, and they both come over at the same time sometimes.
Yeah.
That's the cool part.
All right, but what are you going to do with these girls?
I don't know. It's crazy, though.
All right, you're 18, right?
Yeah.
You're living out of the house?
Yeah.
What are you doing for work?
At a bakery.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you do at that bakery?
I'm the cashier, help people out.
Good. Thank God he doesn't handle anything. God knows where Red's hands have been. Here's my policy when I open a bakery. Nobody named after a color gets to work with the dough.
Or a season.
Yeah, but
or
see, my
season.
hair is blue.
All right. Hey, Red, we're warning you. Here's the deal. Listen to me, because I'm a genius.
Yeah.
At least I think I'm a genius. These women are both troubled women. They like chaos. And let me tell you where you come in with chaos. You getting one of them pregnant, you getting into a fist fight with the husband, cops being called in, so on and so forth. Find somewhere else to get laid and put a condom on. But do not get involved with these two. Oh.
Interesting story about cops. I was talking to somebody who was involved with prison inmates. I forget where this was. Anyway, this person was telling me that the most popular program in jail, cops.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You mean for the inmates?
Yes.
That's good.
So comparing notes.
Yeah. It's interesting. That's got to be funny. It's a little art imitating life, you know? They're sitting there going, hey, I recognize that dude. He busted me. You know what I love?
It's like watching Cops and Robbers or something, too. Rooting for the robbers.
You know, I told you, one of my buddies called me from prison. He was in there about a year ago. And he said, I was just calling from the prison payphone, and he said, yeah, I got to wrap it up. They're starting the movie. They show a movie every Wednesday night. Yeah? What movie you got? Jean-Claude Van Damme, Triple Impact, or whatever piece of junk that guy's cranked out lately. And I said, they really should be showing The Sound of Music. They're showing a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. I mean, it's just basically just wholesale violence. That's where your tax money is going, everybody. So you can have a bunch of drug addicts sit there and watch Jean-Claude kick the crap out of foreigners. Tracy.
Yes.
You're 34.
Yes.
What's going on?
Well, I just started listening. Well, I seen y'all on MTV and just started listening to your show. I just moved out to Denver, Colorado, and when I work, you're on.
So what'd you discovered us on the TV?
You know, yeah, I discovered you first on the TV, and then I moved out to Denver, and I'm working a night shift now. And everybody at work always, tunes you in.
God bless you.
So I was like, oh, this is great, you know. I guess I just thought you had the MTV show. I didn't realize you had a live radio show.
Where do you work?
I work at an environmental lab.
Oh, what goes on there at night? A little monkey humping, huh?
You know, no, just playing with dangerous chemicals.
Wow. Like what? I mean, what are you doing in an environmental lab? Drew, what are you doing at lab?
Water and soil testing. So trying to make sure that the people aren't dumping things they're not supposed to be dumping. Trying to keep the
environment
earth here
clear
a little longer.
God bless you. And then, so what do you do all night?
Well, right now I'm doing what we call digestions and stuff like that. So just a lot of.
What is digestion?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's just where we take our samples and we add acid and we break it down all the organics so we can read the inorganics.
All right. You're like a pool man.
It's like real weird. Just
Okay.
Basically, it's glorified cooking.
Good. I'm glad to see you guys at work.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but not only do, and I heard the station, the horrible PSA again, not only do 1,000 Americans a week die of secondhand smoke, I think from some of the PSAs we hear on this show, I think like 700,000 people died from drinking water or something last year alone. I don't know who does the research for any of these PSAs.
Well, I drink bottled water, so.
That's right.
You just, never can be. But I really wish there was a show like this on when I was younger. It probably would have saved me like years and lots of money of therapy and everything. So.
Well, thank you. So what's your question?
Well, I was listening to the show last night, and a guy called in, and
This is when I was doing by myself?
Dr. Drew was there, yes.
Right.
By himself.
It's a much more delightful
I want to
show, wasn't it?
apologize for that.
He did fine. He did just fine. And of course,
More than fine.
You called in to like brighten the show up, so.
And it really was
You had to call, right? You had to call.
Well, I figured I'd better.
He has to project his ego into everything I try to do.
He did fine, but he was talking to a guy last night who was in AA, and I can't remember exactly because I was, trying to do things and listen at the same time. But he was saying, I'm having trouble dating, and, Drew was giving him the good advice, work the program, it'll come. And I've, been in AA for a while, and then what was really interesting for me is after I was in AA for a year, my sponsor said, I think you need to go to Al-Anon. Which, I guess there's they say that a lot of women alcoholics have a lot of Al-Anon.
Oh, boy.
Too. So,
yeah.
In Al-Anon, so then I went to Al-Anon, which really, really did help a lot.
Good.
So these are the, people that, I kind of associate with other than my work. And I kind of relate to what the guy was saying, like, where do you meet people and everything. Because my thing is that I swear if I just meet somebody and they're talking to me, like 9 times out of 10, they're an alcoholic. I think I have like this alcoholic radar or something.
Yeah, alcoholics do that to each other. They
the only people who
You're not hanging out on the reservation, are you?
Our dates are alcoholics, and it's like I don't really, it's not that I'm avoiding dating or anything, but I'm just thinking, is that really a good idea to like? Two alcoholics to really date. I mean, I'm sure if they're both in recovery, that's great, but
yeah,
I was just hoping
I'm more concerned with your codependency recovery and how that's going.
I got to pot her up again?
Yes, Adam.
Oh, for Christ's sake. You know how I can't stand anyone's voice but my own. Tracy?
Yeah.
How's the codependency going?
It's going really good. I haven't been into that as long, and I just moved from Knoxville, Tennessee to Denver.
How long you been in that program?
The Al-Anon?
Yeah.
A year.
And you had a sponsor work the steps the whole time?
Yeah. Well, I went through, my same sponsor in AA took me to Al-Anon.
Okay.
She's in both.
All right, the deal is your concerns are well justified, and now that you understand all aspects of this illness, you can understand how treacherous it is for you, both as an alcoholic and as a codependent. However, you are in recovery, and you can do as you please as long as another person well-equipped with their own recovery. But, it's treacherous for the very reason, Adam's not going to let me talk to you, of course, but for the very reasons you're concerned about it, it's appropriate to tread lightly. Be careful.
Engineer Mike has the amount of Americans that die from drinking tap water each year. Do you have that, Mike?
Center for Disease Control says that 94,000 people get sick every year from contaminated water. 900 of those people die.
Yeah, that's in Bangladesh.
No, that's like from eating oysters with hepatitis and stuff.
Let me ask you 2 questions, Drew. How many folks have you ever treated with secondhand smoke?
None that
difficulties?
None that I'm aware of.
Your doctor?
Yeah.
Okay. What about your colleagues? Maybe you're just avoiding them.
Yeah, none that I'm aware of.
No one comes in and says the diagnosis is secondhand smoke.
No, ever, never.
Never.
Mm.
Never?
Never.
Never. Interesting. But yet 1,000 people a week die. And what about from bad water? How many folks do you talk
you
to
see once in a while,
in this country?
Because of our proximity to Mexico. You see that stuff.
How often?
All the time.
All the time you see...
But it's always from Mexico.
No, I'm saying in this country, jackass.
If stuff that they pick up in this country once a quarter.
Once every 3 months?
Yeah.
You see someone who got a hold of some bad tap water.
Yeah.
900 of those people die.
Ever had anyone die on it?
No, not even close.
Well, apparently I don't know. We must be living in some sort of artificial environment here where people don't smoke or use tap water. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I'd like everyone to just be very careful. We're all dying of secondhand smoke and bad tap water. The real problems they won't get near. It's just stuff getting stolen at the airport, tap water, and secondhand smoke. These are the big... Could you imagine the utopia we'd be living in if that was the biggest problem this country had?
Take a bite out of crime. You got it.
Yes. Hang on to those wallets. You'll be pickpocketed at the airport. All right, let me just say something about last night before we move on. Something I wanted to get off my chest for a while. I didn't want to offend anybody over at the Two Guys, a Girl, and the Pizza place. But that's where I was last night, and might as well strike while the iron's hot. First off, it was a good script. I ended up sort of writing a lot of my stuff, but they had the right idea, and it was everyone was fantastic. The cast was great. The crew was great.
There's no way you got as far off the script as we did on Talk Soup.
No. We told them to get rid of that goddamn teleprompter, and they wouldn't. Oh, all right. Just don't get me going, Drew, because you know I'll spin out of orbit and knock something over.
Okay.
Here's the thing, and it's the thing that kills me. And if anyone wants to know why TV is bad, I'm going to explain why TV is bad right now. Why primetime network TV is so weak and so watered down. And generally, so it's sort of Melba Toast, wishy-washy, lowest common denominator. I did Two Guys, Girl, and a Pizza Place. I was playing myself. I was in a limousine. There was a point at the end where I was trying to sort of counsel everyone in the limousine, and somebody said, "Listen to Adam, he's a therapist." And I said, "No, I'm not." And they said, "But you have your own show on MTV." And I said, so do Beavis and Butthead. I'm just some carpenter that caught a lucky break, which is basically the truth. And then the girl's line to me is, so you're just some carpenter with an opinion? And my line that I wanted to say was, who was Jesus? And everybody busted up during the run-through when we did it. Now, they had written on the script, a guy with an opinion who could build you an armoire, which is that middle-of-the-road stuff. And I said, guys, that's too wordy. It's not. I'll just look at her, and in defense of myself, I'll say, who was Jesus? Well, everyone laughed. Everyone agreed. That is a great line. That is funny. It's too bad we can't do it. And I said, why can't we do it? I'm not making fun of Jesus. I'm looking for an example of a great thinker from the past who has no formal education, no degrees, but yet we can all agree was a visionary and a great thinker. And then I'm sort of pompously comparing myself to him. Yeah, I know. We know. Yeah, no, I know. No, it's not offensive. No, we can't do it. Yeah. But it's, I said, well, wait a minute. What if I said, who was Socrates? Which was sort of my alternative joke, my slightly watered-down alternative joke. There's a great thinker from the past that I'm comparing myself to. Does anyone think that that's a dig at Socrates? If you were a descendant of Socrates, would you be upset about that? That somebody was using your forefather as an example of a great thinker, a great historical thinker? No. I said, well, what's the difference? I'm not pissing on the cross or anything. I'm just some pompous talk show host who's comparing myself to another great thinker of the past. And You got the whole carpentry thing rolling you right in, so you're just some carpenter with an opinion. Who's Jesus? Who is Jesus? So, sorry, we all think it's the funniest line in the show, but there's no way we're doing it. I said, how many letters do you think you'd actually get? I mean, if you're a religious person, would you be upset about hearing Jesus' name brought up in that context? Did I say anything bad about him? We're not doing it. We can't do it. We're not even going to get close to doing it. And I thought to myself, this is what's wrong. And then I started to do the math, and I thought to myself, what percentage would be upset about that Jesus line? People sitting around watching ABC.
I think it's the ABC standards of practice.
Is it 1 in 10?
I think it's all internal. I really don't think.
All right, but they're basing that on something.
But you've seen standards and practices, people, and what they base everything on. It's pretty abstract.
Let me ask you this. If there's 100 people watching the show, and these are people watching a comedy about young people and their sexual problems and whatnot and working at a pizza place, 100 people watching that show, how many of them are writing a letter?
Less than one.
Less than one. 1,000, maybe you're getting one letter.
No. 100,000 maybe getting one letter.
Okay. So here's my point. Why do we have to suffer for a bunch of religious zealots? Why do we have to have the bar lowered down to the carpet because a couple of folks that were molested by their priest at camp 20 years ago are going to sit down and write a letter-writing campaign? Why doesn't any of these networks have the balls to tell them to shove it up their ass? Here's your letter. Go F yourself. Remember when those idiots at Scientology wrote us a letter demanding us apologize because we called them a cult? What did I do?
Screamed at
Told them to take their nutball druid religion and shove it up their ass. And did we ever hear another word from those screwballs again? No. You know why? Because every letter I get from Scientology, here's my reaction. Oh, you want me to apologize? Shove it up your ass, you nutballs. That's my reaction. That's what we need to do to letter-writing campaigns in this country. For Christ's sake, you can't even say the word Jesus. And I said to everybody there, and I hope it made them feel bad, I said, you know what? It worked. This letter-writing campaign, it worked like a charm. It worked like a diabolical scientist works his magic. You want to know why? Because we're having this conversation second-guessing ourselves right now. The fact is, I could have said that line, and no one would have given a good rat's ass about it, but they have you guys so whipped. You pussies are so scared that you can't get out of your own way now, and you're so paralyzed that it's worked like a charm. It's what Tyson used to do in the ring. His opponent was so frightened before he got in, the fight was over before the first bell rang. They have served their purpose, and you wussies have caved into them. It's pathetic. Look in the mirror, everybody. You going to cave into a handful of religious zealots, or are you going to strive for quality? It's art. It's a creative endeavor. There's a couple of screwballs in middle America that are telling you how to write your TV show. Don't listen to them. Stand up to them. Please, stop being so pathetic. Believe me, listen to me. You get a letter from someone, you tell them to ram this letter right up their ass. You'll never get another letter from them. Go screw yourselves, you bunch of religious zealots. Let us do the goddamn comedy, and if you don't like it, don't watch it. Screwballs. Religious screwballs shouldn't be watching comedy anyway. Isn't that a sin? Isn't laughter a sin? Why don't you just sit there and covet your neighbor's wife or something? Read the goddamn Bible. Don't watch sitcoms. Jackasses. Screwing everything up from everyone else. And then everyone else has to suffer. We all suffer. We all get a watered-down, less than creative endeavor because 1 out of every 1,000 people wants to write a letter. That's good. Ed, do the math, you censors. Come on, stand up. I wish these networks would have some goddamn backbone. All right. Anyway, other than that, it was a delight. Everyone was friendly, and it's just too bad they are all... I'm going to come with a new word. You know, there's pussy whipped. They're Jesus whipped. They're all so scared. Take a look in the mirror, everybody. All you censors, all you executives. Look in the mirror, you cowards. Please. Have some dignity. All right.
This is Loveline.
Loveline will be right back.
Loveline on 92.1 KFMA.
Hey, it is the Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. This is Dr. Drew. John Hinton will be in here tomorrow night from the Hughleys. We had him on a TV show. Very funny guy. We should have a good time with him tomorrow night. Let's get back to the phones. Melissa,
Yes.
you're 23.
Yes.
What's going on?
Basically, my husband never initiates the sex. It's always been me. And frankly, he's quite boring, actually. But I love him. I know that sounds... I don't know. Even our first kiss was, he asked me if he could kiss me. I mean, the very first one. I mean, it wasn't... There's, like, no moment, no excitement. I'm wondering if there's something I can do. I mean, I've talked to him. I've tried waking him up while he's sleeping. I've tried, various things, and nothing seems to work.
How old is he?
He's 24.
Yeah, he's always been that way.
Right.
As far as I know.
Some guys just don't really have the eye of the tiger. It's almost like if we were doing a pet show and you're just calling in and going, my dog naps a lot, right. Hangs out, doesn't bark much. I want to make him into a killer. I want him to attack the neighbor. And your answer would be...
Probably not.
I don't know. Try to keep him from crapping on the carpet, but I'm not sure if you're going to turn him into a tiger. You know what I mean? There's certain things he's going to have to do, but I don't know that you're going to change his structure.
Yeah, well, sometimes I've wondered about him because, like, any other man that I've ever dated, I would, like, say, look at that chick, isn't she hot or something? And they'd be like, oh, yeah, or whatever. And he's like, I don't look at anybody but you.
Well, there's...
And, I mean, and it's really sweet. And I have, like, some friends that kind of make fun of me because they're like, your husband tells you he loves you all the time and, he doesn't look at other women. You should be happy. But sometimes I wonder if there's not something wrong. If I wasn't a fluke along his path of life or whatever.
What do you mean a fluke?
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if women is what he really wants. I mean, he...
All right, hold on there. Oh, she's got that laugh. Maybe if you stop that laugh, he'd probably get it up for you. It's like trying to mount Ruth Buzzy. All right. Sometimes I tell a funny joke and I look around just to see if anyone's listening, and Mike's in there yelling at Ann, and Ann's pissed off about my last tirade. I made it to a 5-minute tirade without Ann going, get to the phones.
She was, yeah.
She was inspired, I think. I had a good question for Melissa. How often do you have sex?
About once a month now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how is he present in the relationship in other ways?
What do you mean?
Is he available emotionally to you?
Sometimes. Sometimes. It depends on the subject.
Yeah. I'm starting to get a vibe off of Melissa now.
What kind of a vibe?
Where do you come from?
Like, what do you mean?
Your family of origin.
Divorced parents. Moved to Utah when I was 8. Dad still lives in Georgia. I have half brothers and sisters, but I just grew up with just me and my mom.
No stepdads?
No stepdads. She never remarried.
Mm-hmm. No alcoholism, abuse, anything like that?
Not in my immediate family. My mother came from an alcoholic father, and she has suffered, I think, the consequences.
Yeah.
She was very verbally abusive.
Your dad's not an alcoholic, though?
My dad?
Yeah.
Oh, no, my dad. He's very religious, very...
All right.
That's why Mom didn't hang in.
Oh, that's why Mom didn't hang in. That's right. I was wondering why she was attracted to a guy who wasn't an alcoholic.
She wasn't. That's why she left.
That's why she left.
Right. I was only 2.
Oh, yeah. Before. Yeah, it's funny because you knew it was over early. She wasn't 13.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway, well...
Mom was verbally abusive, so there you go.
Yeah. Now, what's Melissa going to do with this guy?
I mean, she's having some very serious concerns, even though she's not attaching any feelings to them, any affect. I mean, she's contemplating, leaving the relationship. Maybe my husband's really gay. That's serious stuff.
All right, you two getting a little counseling.
I think so.
That's it. He's not going to want to go, but you go. Maybe you don't want to go, but you go anyway. You're going to need to work. This one's bigger than the sex.
And it's bigger than you think it is. I think
Right.
there's serious issues here.
John, who's 15, girlfriend wants him to go beyond their playful S&M and bruiser. Okay. You guys are just kind of playing around now, but she wants you to go a little further?
Yeah, what she wants me to do, she wants me to, like, basically, like beat her up. She wants me to hit her.
How old is she?
She's 15.
All right, don't do it.
Don't do it?
No.
You're already in way over your head with her. Way
over your head.
Okay.
She's got some issues, right?
Me?
She does.
You too.
I don't really have any issues. I called up before, like, a month and a half ago. But, she no family abuse or nothing like that.
What'd you call it before because of?
A month and a half ago, I called up and we actually just started it. I was talking to you about, like, my mom beating me with the ping pong paddle.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, you've had some issues. John.
I just want to know what you think I should do.
Well, the thing that's interesting is your girlfriend must have some issues, too, in the past.
Well, she met this guy online that lives, like, far away, and he always told her that he'd go down there and he'd always, like, hit her if she did anything wrong and stuff like that. And she was, like, talking to him for, like, 2 years. She was, like, kind of obsessed with him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And you can go back further than that, though. John, you're in over your head.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't go further, for sure.
Yes.
In fact, wrap this thing up if you can.
Oh, wait a minute. Eric.
Yeah.
You're 22.
Yes.
Knows a fellow employee is stealing from the company. Should he tell someone?
Yep, I hope I'm not over my head.
You like the guy?
He's pretty cool.
What's he stealing?
Well, it looks like he's stealing computer parts.
Uh-huh. Yeah, go ahead. Blow the whistle.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm all for it. I don't care. It's not ratting out when someone is committing a crime.
Right.
You understand? And you know who pays for that? You and I, Drew.
Right.
Just me and you. I don't mean you and I, sort of metaphorically. I just mean me and you pay for all that stuff. Amber.
Yeah.
16, she and her boyfriend tried to have sex, and it wouldn't go in.
Your body's just telling you you're not ready, okay, Amber? Take it easy. All right?
So, like, if it won't go in this time, then is it ever going to go in? Or is that
Yes, when you're ready. No, you're fine.
You got a condom on?
Yeah, and then he took it off because he's like, well, maybe.
Oh, boy, Amber, you're going to get pregnant.
If your name's Amber or Tiffany, you have a 22% higher chance of being pregnant when you're a teen. I don't know if you looked up that data, Drew.
I believe you, though.
All right, Amber. It's your body saying, I'm not quite ready yet. That's fine. We're going to take a break. We'll be back.
1-800-LOVE-191. Operators are standing by. Loveline will be back in a minute.
Loveline on 92.1 KFMA. Loveline on 92.1 KFMA.
Hello. Hey there, it's the Loveline. All right. Should I stall a little more so you can't go home, Drew?
No, let's go.
Okay. John Hinton from the Hughleys will be in tomorrow night. We'll have a good time with him. He's a very nice chap. And until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo.
Mommy! This has been Loveline. The views expressed on Loveline are not necessarily those of the staff, the management, or the sponsors of this radio station. And are probably not the views of Westwood One Entertainment. Loveline is produced by Ann Wilkins Ingle. Now, please listen to this station longer. 92.1 KFMA, Green Valley, Tucson.